Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. By using our link, you can get 10% off your first month of therapy. So, Naz, as a therapist on BetterHelp, what has your experience been like?
I've been doing it since January 2021, and it's been really fun and exciting. I've been able to reach clients all over the United States and the world. I've had good relationships. I've had folks that I've had for a couple months and a good handful where I've had for almost 2 years now. So it's magnificent. I've enjoyed my time and my clients. I love them.
Awesome. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel the most comfortable. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/DSP or choose Different Spectrums podcast during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Hey everybody, we back again.
Hey, we back in a long time, but y'all don't know that, but we back.
Thank you for ruining that. I'm Spencer, your co-host, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Hey, brother.
He's Jamaican now. Remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. It's completely up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, for our guest for the show, he is a strength and conditioning coach. He's been doing it for several years. He actually did it at my alma mater. And now he's actually the assistant strength and conditioning coach for Central College. Please welcome to the show, Matt Sagar.
This is where you say hello.
How we doing?
Okay.
He asked us how we're doing.
How you doing?
He's asking the fans, how y'all doing?
No. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm doing real good, you know.
Welcome to the show, Sagar. It's good to have you. It's going to be a fun one. A fun one. So, this movie that we are actually getting into today is the classic, some say the best, Rocky in the franchise, Rocky 3. This movie has all that you could ask for. It has Mr. T. It has punch. It has beach running scenes. It has black men calling out white women. You know, it's everything you could ever want in a film. What?
Yep. It's got a lot of good muscles. As someone that's,
Listening.
Man, I tell you, this was the first time. When did this movie come out, Spence?
Probably like 1970 something.
I wasn't even born, and I was like, I'm gay.
Not even in the womb yet.
I'm not even in the womb. I just saw that scene where they're both just sitting there oiled up. I'm like, why y'all so oiled?
Yeah, like this feels right.
This isn't okay. We're almost stop. I'm drooling. God damn it! My antivirus just popped up. My antivirus is like, you need to put it away.
You're like, you're getting too gay here. Let's move on.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, some topics that we're going to be covering for the show. We're going to be talking about being able to wait for tomorrow. We're also going to be talking about getting the yips. We're going to be talking about loss, just being tapped out, can't do anymore.
Yep.
Trauma, and then also we're going to talk about being vulnerable. Before I pass over to Nas, just want to say rest in peace to Carl Weathers, who played Creed, as well as many other great characters in films. Died, I believe, the past year or so,
Yep.
and played the role as Creed. Fantastic. Not much else to kind of say there, but yeah, just rest in peace, Carl Weathers.
For sure. I'm excited to get into some topics today, right? To have Sagar talk to us about it. We're working with a lot of athletes for a lot of years now, and also himself being an athlete too. So what's the mindset? What is this depression? Maybe we'll talk about some eating disorders. We're going to tilt this towards like women. And the big thing is what happens when you get to self-doubt. We're going to tie into being scared in general, and how that can stop us from like moving forward, and how that can prevent us from seizing the day, from doing the things that we need to do, from trusting that process. Also, the scene that I threw in is just the fight scene. Surprise. I love a good man-on-man, fight, stop. So that is because you see the triggering response where you see Clubber Lang just kicking his ass. And so sometimes when I'm in therapy, I'll have that visual where students are telling you like life has done this. I'm like, damn, man, it sounds like you getting your ass kicked. And then I just picture that Clubber Lane scene. And we all have those moments where we feel like life is beating the shit out of us. For some folks, it's been really hard for a lot of years. COVID fucked a lot of people up. A lot of people were lost, a lot of depression, a lot of isolation. And it's metastasized with people losing their jobs, all types of things, economy, things like that. So we're going to talk about athletes. Today will be an athlete-centric podcast. But we're going to get into some really good things about mental health. So I'm excited. Let's cook this sheep. Kept it PG there. Whoop whoop. Let's do
Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. You gotta say it, say. You go whoop whoop.
Do what now?
Whoop whoop. Say whoop whoop.
Oh, whoop whoop.
Bro, you're so fucking autistic, dude. No, he's like, Sagar's like, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
It's mandatory, right?
He said, we just needed a white guy. You're our DEI hire for today. That's why you're here.
That's right. Finally got one.
We finally got one.
Reeled them in.
It's hard to find y'all these days, All right.
They keep dodging us.
Cut.
Side to side, move your head. Watch him now, watch him. Right, remember he's got two hands, right? Damn, man, what the hell are you doing? This guy will knock you on your ass. Come on, Rock, it's not a game. You want to live in the hospital for 5 weeks this time? You thought I was tough? This jump will kill you. All right. Come on, get your head on your shoulders, man. Think about the fight, Clubber Lang's in here, he's trying to hurt you, Rock. He's trying to hurt you. Okay, here he comes. Jab, he's jabbing, he's trying to hurt you. You gotta fight him, you gotta move.
Nothing in it, taking the beating. He's up against the rope. He can't get over the corner.
He's hooking. Damn, Rock, come on. What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Can I talk to you? I want to ask you something important, and I want you to tell me the truth.
What?
Why'd you come here?
Just don't want it no more.
It's over because you want it to be over. I'm glad.
I do.
It's just, you've never quit anything since I've known you.
I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, what happened? How did everything that was so good get so bad?
What's so bad? Tell me, what?
I wrecked everything by not thinking for myself. I mean, why couldn't Mickey tell me where I was really at right from the start? He didn't have to carry me and lie to me and make me think I was better than I really was when I wasn't.
He never lied.
Those fights weren't right. They weren't, Adrian. I never fought anybody who was all in their prime. I was always some angle to hold on to the title longer than I should have had it. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying here?
I understand, but you've got to understand that he loved you and that was his job, protecting you.
Look, that protecting don't help nothing. It only makes things worse. You wake up after a few years thinking you're a winner, but you're not. You're really a loser. And so we wouldn't have had the title as long. So what? At least it would have been real, Adrian.
It was real.
Nothing is real if you don't believe in who you are. I don't believe in myself no more. Don't you understand? When a fighter don't believe, that's it. He's finished. It's over. That's it.
That's not it!
That is it!
Why don't you tell me the truth?
What are you putting me through, Adrian? You want to know the truth? The truth is I don't want to lose what I got. In the beginning, I didn't care about what happened to me. I go in the ring, I get busted up. I didn't care. But now there's you, there's the kid. I don't want to lose what I got.
What do we have that can't be replaced? What? A house. We got cars. We got money. We got everything but the truth. What's the truth, damn it?
I'm afraid, all right? You want to hear me say it? You want to break me down? All right, I'm afraid. For the first time in my life, I'm afraid.
I'm afraid, too. There's nothing wrong with being afraid.
There is. For me, there is.
Why, you're human, aren't you?
Look, I don't know what I am. All I know is I'm a liar. And because of that, Mickey ain't here no more.
You didn't push him into anything. He was a grown man and he did what he had to do. And you have no right to feel guilty for what happened. You don't. You were a champion. And you did what you were expected to do. And you did what I and everybody else thought you should do. And you want to tell me that those fights weren't real? That you were carried? Well, I don't believe it. It doesn't matter what I believe, because you're the one that's got to carry that fear around inside you. Afraid that everybody's going to take things away. Afraid you're going to be remembered as a coward. That you're not a man anymore. Well, none of it's true. But it doesn't matter if I tell you. It doesn't matter because you're the one that's got to settle it. Get rid of it. Because when all the smoke is cleared and everyone's through chanting your name, it's just going to be us. And you can't live like this. We can't live like this. Because it's going to bother you for the rest of your life. Look what it's doing to you now. Paula thinks you can do it. So do I. But you gotta want to do it for the right reasons. Not for the guilt over Mickey. Not for the people. Not for the title. Not for money or me. But for you. Just you. Just you alone.
And if I lose?
And you lose. But at least you lose with no excuses. No fear. And I know you can live with that.
How'd you get so tough?
I live with a fighter.
I really love you. I love you. Where's Vic? Where's Vic?
He's okay.
I need him now.
Hey.
I need him.
He ain't nothing. I told you he ain't nothing. He ain't nothing.
He's too strong.
Don't talk like that, Rocco. Come on. Tear him. I'm gonna smoke him. I'm gonna smoke him. All right. I'm gonna smoke him.
I can't keep him off. I can't keep him off.
He's mine. He's mine. Right. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him.
I'm losing it, Paul. Where's Vic?
What do you got there? 200 over 50. All right, let's start CPR.
Come on, you can do it.
That's right. For the man for round two. Rocky appears to be staggering.
Coming out of the corner. Here comes Clover. Rocky standing. Oh, like I showed you. Let's go. Come on.
Clover's looking.
Come on, now, walk. Come on. Come on, son. Bring it to me. Come on, see what you can do. Bring it to me. Move on the inside.
The champion is merely helping. That's what a beating he's taking. They're real on left.
Don't stand toe-to-toe with him. Come on, see what you can do. Get up. I'll tell you what you can do. Come on, get up. 6. Get up. Get up. Let me see you get up. Give me wait 3 years. 9. Get you. 10. You're out. I did it.
Second round. It's unbelievable.
Incredible upset. Balboa in the corner. Out on his feet. Out of the fight.
We have the time. The winner by knockout, new heavyweight champion of the world, Flubber Lang.
Yeah, I told you. I told you I'd do it. Yeah. I'm the new champion of the world.
Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bubs Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. And with that, let's get into the show.
Smart now.
And we're back again.
We're back and we're live. Just as live as, I don't know, I ain't did this bit in a while, man. I ain't got nothing.
No, there you go. End of that bit.
Yep, I don't got nothing. I wasn't prepared. We just alive. All I could think of is like horrible STDs. I can't.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Intrusive thoughts, tism. I don't know. Let's get
Why
to
is
the
it
show.
go straight to
We just as live is. Oh, I'm not saying that. Yep. Let's go. Let's get started.
All right.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Sagar, for coming on to the show. Real appreciate it.
Yep.
Just want to get to know you a little bit more. Have our fans get to know you. So, sorry, we're not getting there yet. Who you been with? No, it's like,
Oh my God. I want to dig in that beard.
it's not a question. No, would love to know, how did you get into strength and conditioning, and what led you to keep on pursuing that as a career?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of started out having a coach in my corner, for lack of a better term. Playing football in college, having a strength and conditioning coach, spending a lot of hours with a strength and conditioning coach, really kind of opened the doors to that as an opportunity. Thought I wanted to be a physics major, being an engineer, and then Calc 2 said otherwise for me.
Okay.
And that was kind of the end of my engineering career, but I always knew I wanted to do something in athletics. Engineering, whether it was equipment, materials, whatever it was for athletics, but having that interaction with our strength coach really kind of opened the door. And from day one, sitting down, meeting with him, it's like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to impact people's lives in a positive way and really be able to interact and connect with people, not only when they're being pushed at their hardest, but when they need help getting picked back up. because that was definitely one thing that he was really good at with anybody that walked in the room that was willing to work.
Okay. Well, real quick, for folks that maybe don't know or haven't had a lot of experience with athletics, what the hell is a strength and conditioning coach? Obviously, it's in the name, but like, what the hell is it that y'all do? What do y'all do?
I think a better question is, what don't we do?
Oh, okay.
There you go.
It's a job, it's a profession that you have to wear many hats. It's not just being a trained gorilla where I pick up a barbell, put it down, tell you to put on more weight or more reps. There's science to it. I have to have a really kind of intimate understanding of the human body, both from structural standpoint, chemical standpoint, hormonal standpoint, and then how does exercise affect all of that? Going a step further, we add in nutrition. We all got to eat to survive, right? Well, if we're going to train and try and compete and perform at a high level, how does nutrition affect that? How does not having good nutrition affect that? Going into kind of some sports psych, being able to figure out people's buttons and having to push the right buttons to, hey, we need to push, you need to grit your teeth, you need to give me everything you got right now. But at the same time, being able to grab the reins, if you will, and say, hey, let's slow down. Now's not the time to be going balls to the walls. And then on top of that, I mean, we got to have some business background. We got to be able to talk finances. We got to be able to talk with benefactors. We got to be able to talk with anybody that's going to come into the room, recruits. I mean, just this week alone, I think I've met with 25, 30 recruits.
Damn, okay.
For future athletes. So, I mean, I think the better question is, what don't we do?
Okay. One more question for me. I'll kick it back to Spence. Does every team have this in college? I assume strength and conditioning coach. And do high schools have this?
So it's growing at the college level. Almost, not all, almost everybody at all levels is going to have some form of strength and conditioning coach. Now, what that looks like is going to be very different. Where I'm at Central, we have 3 full-time strength and conditioning coaches.
Oh, wow.
We were one of the first Division III schools in the country to have a full-time strength and conditioning coach. Now we're one of the first to have 3. So we're really fortunate in our administration's buy-in to athletic performance. But at the same time, not everyone's as fortunate. And most of the time it's a sport coach whose second duty is strength and conditioning.
Okay.
And I mean, if any of your listeners are thinking about getting into strength and conditioning, but also want to teach, high school is the way to go. I mean, maybe you don't want to coach your sport, but you want to work with young people in a setting where they're competitive and you can push them, weight room's the way to go. High school strength and conditioning is absolutely exploding right now.
Okay.
I mean, heck, even just in the state of Iowa, a huge proportion of high schools have some qualified professional in the room with them.
Cool. I'll ask you some questions later on about some of that stuff. I'm going to kick it back to Spence.
All right. Would love to know when we've talked about this in the pre-production, but we kind of talked about having this kind of iPad generation that you're kind of seeing as students. How do you connect with that generation of kids when, they're very closed off, and sometimes they might not be the easiest to talk to or open up about certain things?
So a big part of my job is observation. I'm watching the human body move. I'm watching it move under load, whether that is a barbell or maybe they're sprinting at max velocity or doing any number of things competing. And one thing that I think a quality coach really needs to get good at is hearing all the little bits and pieces. Okay, they're really comfortable with this group of people. I'm struggling with athlete X. I'm going to walk over there and listen. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to act like I'm looking at something else, but I'm just going to listen. How do they interact? What do they talk about? What are they into? And I think that is a big piece that a lot of young coaches, kind of up and coming coaches, really get too hooked on diving into the weeds of the X's and O's, writing the perfect program, building a beautiful facility. but being able to listen and then really connect with an individual. I mean, hearing someone talk about, hey, I'm really into this obscure sport. One of my athletes actually share a common connection of interest in Formula One racing.
Okay.
Lewis Hamilton, awesome dude. Wish you won another one with Mercedes, but good luck at Ferrari.
Also, sorry to cut you off. Also, a big proponent and ally for mental health related issues and suffers from their own mental health issues too, depression.
Who?
The guy you just talked about, the Hamilton guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Sir Lewis Hamilton. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. All right.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah.
But hearing that and him not connecting with the other kids, next time he was in the weight room, it was, hey, so who's your driver in Formula One? I mean, you want to talk about the light bulb turned on. It's I got both eyes locked on me. It's like, holy cow. So just picking up on those small little things, watching them at practice. Hey, I saw you were struggling with this. Light turns on. Hey, I heard you're in class X, Y, and Z. That one kicked my butt when I was in school. I mean, just little things like that have really opened up a lot of opportunities for me to reach more and more kids. And I think it kind of snowballs of, okay, maybe the buddy that he was talking to about Formula One is kind of another one of those. I don't know about this bearded bald dude. But athlete X over here, he's talking to him. He's getting along with him. He's smiling. They're joking. Okay, maybe I can. And then it just kind of, not saying dominoes fall, but over time, I mean, we have a whole team that's knows I got their back.
Word spreads, right? Word of mouth. And when you're talking about athletes, it's a lot about word of mouth. When you're talking about pockets of students that are black or brown, word of mouth. Like, hey man, you can trust this guy. He's a good dude. When we're talking to queer students, is that a safe person? When you're talking to autistic or neurodivergent folks, are they cool? Are they affirming? Will they judge me if I'm a little weird and kooky? No, right? I say a lot of weird shit and Sagar, he just rolls with it. Every once in a while, there's that like, oh, like my dad. Oh God, he said that. But yeah, Sagar goes with most of it though. It's pretty affirming. So what you talk about, Sagar, I think is a very big thing that's missing. Is a lot of people get locked into books or modalities, technique. That's all you need to know that stuff. You need to be professional at that stuff. But for you, and I've known you, but I'm not going to gas you up right now, but I'm going to have you gas yourself up. What makes you different than everyone else, right? Because I've seen people flock to you. I've seen people cry with you, brother. And you've told me about stories. People like love you as a person, as a man, as a coach, as a dad figure. My people have bared their souls to you. So is it just because you just care? Is it because you do listen to the small details? Like what separates you from some of these other kids?
You know, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head that I'm willing to have someone come in the office and pour it out. And I've met a lot of coaches over the years that I'm not dealing with that. He broke up with his girlfriend. That's not my problem. Well, I mean, no, it's not your problem, but you've been on the planet a little bit longer than that kid. What advice can you give him? If you tell me you haven't been in his shoes, I'm going to call you a liar. But what advice can you give him or her?
Yeah.
Or whoever you're working with? I mean, whether it's the voice of reason that they know they need to listen to, or kind of that parent figure who's not a parent, who is in the trench, who's seen me at my strongest, who's seen me at my weakest, who has kind of cracked me open and shown me, hey, here's the pearl that's there. You can't see it yet, but it's there. I mean, maybe it's some of that. I mean, I don't have a great answer for you on that, but just being able to, I mean, from time to time, pick a kid up by their bootstraps and like, hey, you're going through some shit. What do you need? Instead of me saying, hey, according to psychology study X, Y, or Z that I read 3 weeks ago on PubMed, What do you need?
Good old pub man.
What can I do to help you through this?
Yep. For real.
We kind of touched on it a little bit, but since we're talking on this subject, I also want to talk about how some schools are understaffed, underfunded, and they don't have enough money to supply for mental health services, right? You and Nas were two people who worked at St. Mary's, and you were able to use them as somebody who could talk about mental health issues because you're not certified to be able to do that. What advice do you have for some students or even for some faculty who are working with students on these mental health issues that maybe not well equipped enough to actually talk about it?
Mm-hmm. So the first thing I would say is know who and what your resources are. That is the biggest first step. I mean, I cannot stress that enough. I know who I need to take people to for a wide variety of situations. I mean, if it's an eating disorder, I've got someone I can take them to. If it's concerns about severe depression, I've got someone I can take them to. If it's whether it's, I mean, come on, brain, think of things.
On the spot.
Domestic stuff, girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other, I got people I can take them to. So I kind of have, if you will, my chain of command. But the next big thing is listen. Know your scope of practice. I'm not a licensed individual in any sense of the word to help someone figure out and unpack any of the stuff they're going to tell me. If it goes down a road where I know I have to say something, I'm going to tell the individual, hey, I have to go up the chain of command. I have to. I'm legally bound, but I just want you to understand it's for you. And hopefully they understand that it's not that I'm trying to throw them under the bus. I'm just trying to get them the help that they need that I cannot provide them.
Have you ever had
know your
any
resources? Just listen.
Have you had any blowback of like students being like, yo, dude, like I really don't want you to say anything to like a therapist, or if kids are like, yeah, I get it. I know you got to help me out. I know this is for me. How have you dealt with that? Because I know kids have gone to you with a lot of like deep stuff. I assume most of it stays in house, but sometimes you do have to be like, kid, we need more help. So how do you deal with, hey, kid, we need more help? And has it been good? Has it been bad? Have they refused?
Yeah. So there have been a small handful of times where the individuals have just not wanted that help. And it could be any number of reasons. I mean, the first one is, do they know that individual that I'm going to take them to?
Yeah.
Likelihood is probably not. So it's a building they probably haven't been either spent a bunch of time in or been in at all. So there's obstacle number one. Two, where is it? Right? Is it a situation where I should physically take this individual, walk with them to this building? Or is it a situation where I say, hey, here's the building, here's the room, here's the person. Go, I need you to go over there. And there's been plenty of instances where I felt comfortable doing that. And in terms of me saying I have to go up the chain of command, I've gotten plenty of pushback on that. But at the end of the day, it's always come back of, hey, I know I didn't want you to at the time, but thanks. I mean, it's always kind of come full circle in those few situations where I've had that. But I say, hey, you're coming with me because this is your story. I'm not going to tell it. I'm there to be your backbone right now. I'm in your corner, whatever you need.
Okay.
I mean, well, and you talked a little bit about women's wrestling. Now that's kind of new to Central. And how have you really navigated yourself through the difficult conversations you've had with, women athletes when it comes to like weight and things like that, because it's a sensitive topic. It is, for women in general. It's a sensitive topic. Eating disorders, all that stuff. It's a hard thing to do. So how do you have that conversation with these women athletes that are coming to you?
So the biggest thing I try and do right up front is educate within my scope. I'm not an RD, so I have kind of my recommendations that I have that are based off really sound science. And then from there, I help them make the best adjustments possible. So what I mean by that is maybe we take out half a serving of carbohydrates for 2 meals. Just knock some calories down, get rid of some extra carbohydrates that we don't need to store. Simple stuff. Maybe we add in an extra bike session. And I'm not telling them to get on the bike and sprint on that thing until they can't. That's not the point. It's to make sure we have continual progress on their specific descent plans. But kind of coming, no pun intended, full circle, I have to listen. I have to listen to them in the sense of a lot of the young women I'm working with right now are freshmen, sophomores. They don't have school figured out quite yet, especially the freshmen. The social anxiety that comes with, I'm living with someone I don't really know. I'm in a town that is in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, surrounded by cornfields. Who's this bearded bald dude trying to scream at me and get me to do stuff? So listening to them up front and trying to figure out where they are and meet them there. It's like, okay, hey, this is what you did in high school. It worked. It will not work very well in college. The weight classes are different. The descent plan is going to be slightly different. How frequently you're going to wrestle is going to be different. Practices are going to be different. Expectations are different. And you're by yourself, so you got to take yourself to class. So again, kind of being that voice of reason, if you will, it's like, hey, 12 grapes does not constitute breakfast. That doesn't constitute a meal. That's not even a snack.
Yeah.
Teaching them to shop our cafeteria. Again, using the resources that they have available to them. If they're struggling, come talk to me, come talk to coach. But having situations of, coach, haven't eaten anything in 7 days, former gymnast I worked with, it's like, oh, that's above my pay grade. Let's go talk to somebody. And just understanding that, hey, you're going to tell me things where it's, I got to draw the line and it's in concrete. So once you kind of develop that relation and show you're listening to them, not just trying to talk to them, then the door is really open. And kind of like we were talking about in pre-production, I mean, sometimes that buy-in, it's like, okay, coach has got my back. I'm going to open up the floodgates. It's like, okay, I didn't need to know all of what you just told me, but here's my recommendation. Come see me in 24 hours.
What about
maybe 48?
What about, I'm glad that you ate those 12 grapes. Good start. So I'm going to backpedal and then I'm going to hit you with something else. So right back in the day, we were working at the same school. Spencer's there too. I wondered if, was there ever any trepidation, right? Because you knew me at one point, but at one point you didn't. Did you ever have any trepidation on taking kids to me? Because you walked over many of students to my office. And so was that difficult for you to walk kiddos over, or were you having to sell them on the buy-in of who I was? As the year went on to year 3 and 4, all the kids knew me. So like, they was cool if you brought them over. Well, what did that conversation look like when you were going from transition to this is an athletic performance thing to like, this is now a serious mental health related issue where, life or death, some type of stuff for eating disorder, suicidality. How was that transitioning, bringing them over to my office? And did you feel like that strengthened the bond between you and the kiddo, or did you feel like that harmed it? Or maybe it always strengthened it because, you handed it to me and it went well with me. Oh, and by the way, maybe it went bad with me. Like, I don't know about all my kids. Maybe they were like, this fucking guy now is weird as shit. Like, man, and he's brown. You kids are racist at St. Mary's. You're like, fuck this Mexican guy. I'm joking.
He's weird and brown. Can't handle that.
They weird was code for autistic. They wanted to say it, but they didn't. Like, motherfucker drooling.
Dinosaur chicken nuggets in his office. I knew something was
Something
off.
was
I don't
off.
know what.
Something was off. I saw him eating glue. But like, so how was that transition? And did you ever hear anything different where kids were uncomfortable with me? And I'm completely fine if you have any of those stories.
I know, especially when you first got started, they just didn't know who you were.
Yep.
So it was definitely pulling some teeth and fingernails at times. Where it's like, hey, this dude is legit. He has got your back. Coach, I don't know this guy. Like, who is he? He's just some guy's trying to mess with my head. He's like, no, not the polar opposite of mess with your head. He's trying to help you figure out your own head. And then kind of like the word of mouth, as soon as one, it's like, okay, this guy's like, gets it. And then, hey, coach, so-and-so said you took him over to, it's like, I can't tell you where I took him. That's different stuff. But then they're like, no, coach, I get it. Good. They needed it. And it was kind of, as time went on, it just kind of, coach, I don't want to go, but I know I need to. And I've only heard good things. And I've never heard a bad thing about any of the students that I took over to you. And I think that is just because you're such a down-to-earth dude that as soon as they get in the room, it's, what does this dude have all these stuffed animals in here for?
Hey, hold up now. Oh, he's talking shit, Sagar.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
that was definitely one of the questions
no.
I got.
What you mean, you people?
There's something wrong with it.
What you
We
mean,
just
you
don't want to
people?
say it.
Yeah.
There's something wrong.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's something wrong.
The fact
with
that he
it.
went right for the stuffed animals, that kind of hurt, bro.
I'm sorry.
I'm joking.
I'm sorry. I'm not
joking.
trying to.
No,
I'm
yeah,
joking.
he's joking. He got like 85 of them, like right next to him.
Yeah, they're all my friends. Sagar's like, we need to talk.
Do you need
Sagar's-
some services?
Sagar's like, you need to lift more weights, dog.
Do I need to walk you across the street?
Yep. But continue what you're saying. They're like, yeah, man, this guy's got these stuffed animals.
And I taking a student athlete over there. A couple of days later, they came up to me. It's like, coach, I don't know who that dude is. He got a lot of stuffed animals. It's kind of goofy, but I like it. I was like, perfect. Yeah. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
I used to have
Why I
that.
took you over there, because he's a good dude.
There you go. I used to have that 5-foot bear in there, man. They used to fuck people up. That 5-foot bear. That bear used to get people. They'd be like, what the fuck?
I remember the first time I walked in there. I think he recently gotten it, and I walk in. It's, what? What is that? Is there someone in there? Like,
I know. It's creepy.
His name is Teddy. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He likes to watch.
Oh my God. My dad, we was at Costco and he was like, you got to get it, man. Actually, when I left the school, I ended up giving it away to some kids. I know the kids. I can't say who it is, but I gave it away to these kids and they sent me a picture because I left before they graduated. And they sent me a picture of them trying to stuff that fucking thing into their van while they leave home, and they had to go all the way back south. It was fucking hilarious. I still got the picture. It was wild. So never heard any bad things, but also it sounds like I had some of the sauce that you had, where there's like buy-in, you're listening, you're paying attention, you know that they got your back.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's really difficult for a lot of these kids now that have been isolated. Spencer brought up in this iPad type of thing, not a lot of social interaction. COVID fucked a lot of people up, coach. And so it's interesting when you have someone that's very masculine like me and you, very big dudes, beards, rough, jagged, which is not supposed to be good with emotions. We're not supposed to be good at caring and loving and supporting, nurturing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've dealt with some of that. I'm a pivot. So when you're talking about working with a lot of women, and right, with a lot of women listen to the pod, a lot of women identifying individuals as well, a lot of trans folks too. Do you find it hard to get that population to come in and seek services for mental health, or do you find the boys harder to get in to come in? You being a male, how do you navigate that? And then I want to build upon, what are some things that you could coach some women on here? A lot of women listen to the pod. What would be your advice for a lot of our listeners? So first, what do you think gender is harder to get into mental health services?
I think it's kind of 50-50.
Okay.
Especially post-COVID, pre-COVID, I would have said males.
Okay.
100%, just because of the stigma. I mean, whatever you want to say, oh, we got to be Marlboro men, smoke a pack a day, ride my horse. But at the same time, that's, I wouldn't say it's necessarily flipped, but it's definitely swayed, I think, a little bit more towards the female side of things. I mean, it's still, I would say it's 50-50 for sure, but it's definitely swung more where it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I mean, not saying I got every one of my male athletes coming in and pulling at every single heartstring or pouring out their emotions, but at the same time, it's started to be, okay, now we're Marlboro all women. It's like, excuse me, like, what did you just say to me? So, and I think some of that comes back to kind of the iPad, the social media, the TikTok, whatever variation they're in of, oh, I'm guru so-and-so. I'll help you through your depression. I'll help you through your eating disorder. And some of those individuals might be legitimate, might have licensure, PhD, whatever, but a lot of them just read PubMed and think they have the brain figured out. It's like, man, please tell me what I'm doing wrong, because shit.
Yep.
So I know that is a big component of it, because kind of like Spence talked about, the social gap, whether they have had worse experiences in person or just seen, I mean, all the hot garbage that is on social media today.
Yep.
Is that what's driving that change?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have an answer for you, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I think.
That's fine. I'm just asking for experiences. Yeah, no evidence.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question.
Your experiences, you've seen it where the men are starting to come in a little bit more, and maybe some of the women are being a little bit more reserved.
Yep.
Okay, which is fine. And so now, what are the, Spence, did you have another question? Because I'm going to go towards the women's track right now.
Yeah, here you go.
What are some of the big things that you're seeing women come with when it comes to either performance-wise or like mental health-wise, concerns-wise? What are some of the things that you've seen a lot of these freshman women, sophomores coming in that you need to work on?
Mm-hmm. So in terms of just general performance, the biggest thing that I think, just from a profession, train. Just need train. I mean, just because they're a different gender does not necessarily mean a whole lot. Yes, you could argue in the physiology, hormones. Yeah, we can dive into the weeds, right? But at the end of the day, they're human. They're human. Pick up heavy stuff, set it down, put a few more pounds on, do it again. Then the next week, make it heavier. And the week after that, retest, deload, start over. I mean, it's not saying it's super simple like that, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be rocket science. We're not sending them to Mars and back. I mean, I hope they do in their career. That'd be freaking cool.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I see, especially with the young women I'm fortunate enough to get to work with, is a lot of, honestly, the self-talk.
Okay. Talk about
this freshman class has been interesting, because I don't know if it's just a lack of training history, time underneath the barbell, time with a coach like myself, time with anything organized, or it was the wrong type of coach, wrong program, whatever. But the coach, I don't know if I can do this. What are you talking about? I wouldn't put it on the paper if I didn't think you could do it. Coach, it's more than my body weight. Good. Like, good, let's go. Pick it up. I'm not going to let you die. No one here is going to let you die. We got your back. So, coach, I don't know if I can do this. And then it's kind of one turns into three. And then now it's 3 or 4 racks. And I was like, coach, I don't think I can do this. It's like, dang it. And that kind of group infection of just exponential growth of negative mindset, negative self-talk. And I've had to pull that group aside a couple times, like, hey, this is my first rodeo. You're not the first group of female athletes I've ever worked with. But I promise you, if it's on the sheet of paper that I gave you, I guarantee you can do it. I wouldn't put anything on there that was impossible for you to do. That's not my job. And that is definitely something that has really been a challenge this year, because I've been really fortunate. I worked a lot of my career pre-COVID, and I built a lot of great relationships with teams and coaches, so we could work on that as I developed my programs, developed their individual programs and everything. But coming into the institution where I work now, post-COVID, and with the generations that we're working with now, it's really forced me to dig into my toolbox a little bit, and kind of some of my stuff I learned as an intern, as a young coach, and a GA, where it's, okay, instead of just do it, it's, hey, let's pump the brakes. What's going on? Again, coming back kind of to listening to them, it's like, okay, you clearly there's a mental block, whether it's someone told you you'd never be able to do this in the past, which shame on them, or it's you have never been pushed. So one of those two sides of the spectrum, I mean, it's just something that I've really had to dial in on.
Yep. I would assume it's got to be some anxiety that's going on there, right? Some imposter syndrome. Maybe they did have bad coaches. There's probably a multitude of things that are going on, but definitely I would say with even my clients in the therapy room, that self-talk, that anxiety is bad. The doubt is bad. There's the social support is not there. A lot of them think that all their friends hate them. They think that they're letdowns in every way, their sport, their relationships, their parents, right? And so it's just very, 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 very negative.
Yeah. And I mean, I asked one of my athletes, like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? I mean, this is an individual who, in my eyes, looks like a high level gymnast. Crank out sets of 10 on pull-ups. I mean, it's just one of those things. What are you talking about? Can't. It should not be part of your vocabulary. I mean, you're letting it be a part of your vocabulary, but you are showing me everything on the other side of that coin that
Interesting. So there must have been some type of block, some type of thing. So you sound like a therapist in that moment, coach. You're like, who told you that? Or what's going on? When did this become a thing and why? Because something, or you heard a lie one day and then you just believed it and ran with it and can't, you probably can. And mentally, if you tell yourself you can't, though, you're not. Like, we can show those studies over and over. If you say that you can't, I can't lift this, you're not going to lift it. If you think you can lift it, you might actually get that son of a bitch up.
Heck yeah.
Right. Manifesting things is for real. Manifesting in things in relationships, grades, confidence, visualization. If you visualize it 9 times out of 10, it's going to be horrific. You're going to fail. You're not going to be able to take the test. You're not going to ask that person out. It's probably going to go pretty bad.
Man, so speaking of visualization, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Naz, but so small portion of the track team, the throwers that I get the opportunity to work with, that was one thing I worked on with them a lot this fall. And one thing I would have them do is it's like, hey, you're going to warm up at the bar, and then you're going to make another small jump. And that jump is the weight I want you to feel on your back when you're visualizing. It's not your 100%, but you know what that's going to feel like. And when it came to max out week, I mean, we had one of our guys on throw squad, about 585 for 5. And this was a kid who, I mean, for lack of a better term, he was kind of a nervous Nelly. He's like, coach, I don't know. I mean, it's like, dude, you are built to squat.
Yeah.
Period. Like, you are built to squat. And he would come, he had the opportunity to study abroad.
Sure.
And he spent 2 semesters abroad. And it's like, well, I don't know. I haven't been training for such a big gap of time. The nervous system doesn't forget what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And he did this, and he came up to me. He's like, coach, what do you think we could have done if I didn't study abroad? I was like, dude, thank you. Finally. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, he's number 4 on our all-time leaderboard for the squat now.
Yeah.
His calculated squat came out to 675.
675.
Good Lord.
That boy got what we call them drumsticks. You know, that boy got,
Drumsticks.
That boy got them thighs.
I mean, it was one of those.
You got whole turkeys to talk about. Drumsticks.
That boy got a whole pig. 675, bro. That motherfucker eating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Hungry boy.
But now he's one of the guys where I got to grab the reins and be like, hey, just because you can doesn't mean you have to.
Good.
Like, okay, it's like, what was it, 2 weeks ago? We had a volume session. Now, his max is freaking huge. So his light day was 505.
Yep.
And exactly, Spence. Exactly. Like, okay, excuse me. So I had to tell him, I was like, hey, we're going to do this first set. And if it looks okay, I'll let you do a second. Gets done with his first, like, coach, my legs are tired. Okay, we're going to do a triple on the second set and you're done. Coach, it's on the card. I got to do it. No.
Yep.
No, we're dealing with weights that will cripple you if you're not 100%. You're not 100% racket. You're done.
I'm going to pivot this. So you're talking about athletes, you're talking about muscles, you're talking about understanding your body. So a lot of folks that are listening here, neurodivergent individuals, it's the same thing when it goes to eating. It's the same thing when it goes to knowing when you're overwhelmed, knowing how much energy you have to do your work, how much energy you have to talk to people, how much energy you have to play your games and do your self-care. You have to know what are your limits. And so coach is saying that, hey man, you can probably do this and like you want to do this. Should you push through and then study for like 5 more hours and not sleep? Or should you probably go to sleep, wake up, and then restart? Should you maybe take that break, go for a walk, and then restart your homework? Should after like a awkward thing at school or your partner or a friend, you're freaking out and deregulated, should you go right into something else? Or should you maybe take that break, recover for 30 minutes or an hour, be silent, be secluded, do whatever your stim is, your regulation is, and then get back on the horse? A lot of people, coach, will get ashamed because they don't meet that. They don't push through. I'm soft. I'm a bitch. I'm this or that. Right? I'm weak. Right? People say it doesn't matter what gender. And are you? Are you being smart? Are you being strategic? Are you making sure you don't blow your fucking leg out? Are you making sure you don't have a full blown meltdown and now you had a panic attack? Now you're embarrassed. Now you're throwing up. Now you're anxious all the time. So are we moderating our behavior to make sure that we're operating efficiently and effectively versus just blowing something out? And I think that's a lot of folks with ADHD and autism tend to forget. There's parameters on what we can do, and neurotypical individuals too. There's parameters to this. There's a science to this. And athletes will just blow right past it. A lot of athletes that got a little bit of OCD.
Oh yeah.
And they'll lock in and they're going to blow right past things and they're going to blow out their knees in their back. I got a couple strong boys now. I'm like, bro, we got to pull back. Well, I need to do this. I need to do that. I'm like, no, you don't. Bro, you ain't slept in days and you hearing shit. So I'm about to send your ass to the hospital if you don't go to sleep because you can't be hearing shit, G. students are like, you think sleeping will help? That's the dumbest. So I don't say that to them, but I'm like, yes. Like if you sleep, you won't be as stressed. You'll get some of those good hormones to regulate. Your brain's going to heal. And then you probably won't be hearing shit anymore, G. So, I haven't retained any information for days for school. I'm like, no shit. Yeah. I'm just sitting there like, you stupid son of a bitch. Like, I'm not supposed to judge them, but but when you tell me wild shit, I'm going to judge you out loud and you're going to know. You're going to know. So same thing with athletes. So I'm glad that you brought that up because you need to know when you're pushing too much.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I like to come back to is, like, don't get me wrong. I love to friggin' work hard.
Let's do it.
But sometimes working hard is working smart. So whether it's having that individual that says, hey, like a coach in your corner that says, hey, we're going to do this set, but that's it. I mean, having your kind of boxes that you tick that say, okay, I've ticked too many of these boxes today, kind of like you were talking about, I got to be done. This is the line in the concrete.
And we all know what that is. People say, like, I can't tell. No, as you get older, you definitely know. As you get younger, you're still testing the limits. I know. Whenever I'm doing something, I know. Pause. So the other day, story time. Spence, I showed you the photo of me changing my own spark plugs.
I did, yeah.
And I think I told you online. I told you it should have took 20 minutes watching the YouTube video. And it took me like 30. It took me 3 hours at least.
I was like, what?
It took a full blown panic attack. I lost a couple screws in the engine. They're gonna come out one day. I'll find them one day. Well, not in the engine, but like it's in the chassis.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, ooh.
I'll risk it.
I got it. But I had to it should have been easy. Unscrew this thing, clip the battery off, right? But somehow I fucked that nut up. And then, so Dad's like, bro, just do this and that. I'm like, I need you to leave. Because I'm losing my shit. I'm about to start crying, bruh. He's like, all right, I'm going to just walk away. So he waddles away. I had to take it apart, then put it back together. Because turns out you need a certain fucking wrench for fucking spark plugs so that the magnetic shit pulls the fucking. Imagine I'm got a spark plug down there, and then I pull the wrench out, and the fucking spark plug is still sitting in the engine. I'm like, what type of shit is this?
That's how that's supposed to work.
There's some bullshit. So I had to put it back together, then go to Walmart. It was wild, bro. Got it all done. Car's running fantastic. But Pops could see I was hitting my limit, and he's like, I need to go. And I also saw my limit. I was like, I'm going to sit down on this chair and just like sit for like 5 minutes to cool off because I'm sweating.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like frustrated. I can feel I'm about to break something. And I don't want to fuck up my car because this was supposed to save me money, not cost me more.
Yep.
Limits.
I've had that working with, so we have a group of intern coaches that we work with. Some of them are greenhorns, don't know anything. And then we've got our seniors getting ready to go out in the world.
Yep.
So I got to be able to shift gears. And there are just certain times where it's like, I'm going to walk away from you because you're a senior. You are saying some dumb shit. I'm going to tell you to pound sand in a not so nice way. And I just walk away, and then I have to immediately shift gears. Freshman intern comes up to me, hey, coach. And I was like, ooh, okay. I got to go to my office. I'll be right back.
Woosa. Coach's like, they're like, what's wrong? Nothing. Yes, you murder stare at someone. The next athlete that comes, fuck you.
Yo, man. Yeah.
Hey.
The entire time I got to keep my cool because I got my team in here is expecting me to coach at a high level. It's like, steam coming out of my ears because it feels like it.
Yep. Hey, regulation skills, man. So we're going to pivot this into the scenes, I would assume, but regulation skills for a coach is still important too, right? Shit freaks you. You're not just a blank slate. You go through shit too. You got emotions.
Oh, yeah.
So how the hell does a big man like you calm down? Drugs.
A lot of walks.
I said drugs. He does not agree with the drugs. He didn't hear me say that. He said a lot of walks.
What'd you say? Huh?
We like to call it a quaalude.
Quaaludes.
Okay,
What year is it?
Speaking of drugs. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hold on. Awkward pivot. I know.
No, wait a minute. It's
So
a beard.
I drink a lot of tea.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Look at
that's
you.
kind of my caffeine source. Not a big pre-workout guy, energy drink. I like my tea.
Yep.
So I get bulk tea, and one of them I get regularly spearmint tea. So I have it sitting in a mason jar in my office, and one of my coaches walks in and is like, "Coach, what are you doing in here?" I was like, "I'm working. What's up?" No. Turns around, points up to my cubby. It's like, "No, coach, what are you doing in here?" And I was like, "I swear to you, that is tea. I do not have a felony level amount of weed in my office."
That's just for anyone to steal too, right?
Yeah. I'm just
Please
gonna keep
take.
that a clear glass jar out in the open. Anyone can walk up, grab what they need. Yeah, no, we're not. I'm not in here freaking rolling up and freaking.
Hey,
No.
no shame. No shame.
That's just not my thing. I mean,
Hey.
How do you know what to do with the weed, coach?
Yeah.
You know how to roll it up. What does that mean? Answer the question. Why am I putting my mic into a mic? I don't understand.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Microphone.
Bro, I would die. Did he actually think it was weed, or was he just fucking with you? Oh my god!
No,
You're in the middle.
They were legitimately concerned, and I was like,
wow, that's just Iowa, bro. They have no idea what weed looks like. No idea.
Have you watched any movie that's not rated PG?
I know.
Anywho,
so we back.
Let's get into the scenes.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get into it. Brief introduction of Rocky 3. It's the third Rocky. There you go. At this point, Rocky's famous. He beats Creed to get the title, the world title. He's on top of the world. He's the best. And now he's having fights, but he finds out later that these fights were actually more easier fights, so he could keep his title. And there was no real competitor to him until Mr. T walks in and starts being like, "Hey, fool, I'll beat your ass." And he proceeds to beat his ass. I mean, let's be honest.
I love a good ass beating.
Yeah, and then he gets Creed, his arch rival, to help train him and beat the black man.
Wait a minute. Is that considered black on black crimes?
I was about to say that, but hey. Then we get to this scene where Creed is training Rocky, and he tells him that, hey, there is no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. I want to ask Sagar, what made you want to pick this scene and this movie out of all the movies you could do? What made you want to pick this movie, and specifically this scene about having there's no tomorrow?
Well, I mean, the quote kind of sums itself up. We can't wait. Time is our worst enemy, and if we play it right, it can be our best ally, but we can't wait for tomorrow to do things. And don't get me wrong, there are things that take multiple days, weeks, months, years to do, but it's that continual, okay, I did this today, which allows me to do this tomorrow, and then this the next day. So it's not something that you want to push back, right? You don't want to say, oh, that procrastination that someone else will do it, and so on and so on. It's you can't wait. We're on here on this planet for such a little blip of time. I mean, when I started back here at Central, my first year back was my wife and I's 10-year reunion from college. And that, I remember at homecoming game, they said, class of 2012, it's your 10-year reunion. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Where is 10 years gone? And it's one thing I try and coach to our athletes. It's one thing I try and coach to our interns. You exactly, Naj, you blink and it's, whoa, 4 years of college is gone. I'm graduating. I don't have a job yet. Coach, what do I do? It's like, dude, we've been trying to tell you that for 4 stinking years. Now what? what's plan B? Well, I mean, we try and tell them all the times, you can't have a plan B. There is no tomorrow because it never comes. Tomorrow is today. Today is yesterday. You have to keep moving forward one step at a time. Even if you take 5 steps forward and the next day you take 3 steps back, you're still +2. You know, I mean, there are definitely days where you're going to get punched in the face. One of my go-to quotes that I tell athletes who kind of get knocked on their butt every once in a while is, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yep.
Life is going to punch you in the face way, 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 way harder than college is.
Yes.
Way harder than college is. So by sitting on your butt and waiting for tomorrow, that punch is going to gain some velocity. You wait 2 days, that's coming in to mock Jesus. Good luck.
Mock Jesus? Damn, man. Coach going here biblical and shit. G Gumbo.
He went to a Catholic school.
He did. You know.
I mean, yeah, that's just one of those things. I mean,
you're right. So what you're trying to say is like, life is going to come at you no matter what. Doesn't matter if you're neurodivergent, neurotypical, doesn't matter what gender, race, creed, religion. So that could be grades, it could be partnerships, relationships, jobs. There's going to be deaths in the family. It's going to be tough. You're going to lose your job. You're going to get old. You're going to have injuries, a lot of your athletes. As me and Sagar were talking about, there's going to be a lot of issues that happen for one gender versus other ones. And so it could be some eating disorder, it could be joint issues. It could be anything with eating disorders for some of my women that I work with. And some of the amenorrhea that we talked about, breaking bones, osteopenia. And life's going to be tough. And if we don't build up some of that daily progress, then you're not going to be ready for that punch, right? Your neck's not going to be stronger, your shoulder's not going to be stronger to take that impact. So now you're getting knocked down.
Oh, yeah.
So when you look at a scene like this and there is no tomorrow, I think, babe, to be clear with everyone that's listening is that Coach or me, Spence, we're not saying you need to do everything today. You're not doing it all in one day. You're making sure that you're doing what you need to do in that day, then the next day. Like Coach said, it's going to take days, weeks, months, years for some of these athletes. Maybe you've got anxiety disorder. That could take years to work with. They could do therapy, medication, group, skill stuff. Could be eating disorder. That's going to be lifelong, some things. If you're going to be a trained athlete like Sagar does, it's going to take years to get you to the pinnacle of your profession and then even more.
Oh, yeah.
And hours. Like I got kids that are fantastic athletes. I got kids that are violinists. They're talking like 4, 5, 6 hours a day. You skip a couple days. Oh shit, I'm already behind.
Adds up.
So when you talk about that there is no tomorrow, when you say that to folks, or you got your kids that don't want to do stuff, but then you got your kids that like are perfectionists. And then if they screw up, have you seen that a lot where they screw up with a perfectionist and they're like, holy shit. And then they get really ashamed and freaked out and they start tweaking because they can't keep up with the days?
Yeah. So I very rarely do I give them that quote directly.
Yeah.
Now, if I've developed a relationship with them where they just need a quick reminder, it's like, hey, there's no tomorrow. You don't have time to wait.
Yep.
That's a different scenario. But most of the time, kind of coming back to some of the other stuff we've talked about in terms of education, I always say 1% better than you were yesterday. 1%. Whether it's you read one more page, you spent 10 more minutes on homework, you got 30 more minutes of sleep. 1%, little step. I don't care how big that step is to anybody else, but to you. So coming back to working with female athletes, one of them I work with, I ask, what'd you have for breakfast? And it's not because I'm trying to force feed them. It's, okay, you're starting a trend here of, okay, I had peanut butter jelly sandwich. Not great breakfast, better than nothing. Then the next day, I had peanut butter jelly sandwich and a scoop of eggs. Okay, awesome. That stacked up. They did that a couple days in a row. Okay, so at the end of a week, I didn't recognize the person from 10 days ago, 7 days ago. And I asked them, how you feeling? I've never felt this good before in my life.
Feeling pretty fucking good.
Like you see what 1%, one minuscule, what you think is a minuscule change can do over time. Now give me 4 years of that mentality. Take that to, okay, we're chipping away at the breakfast habit. Now let's chip away at sleep habit. Instead of staying up until, sorry, it sounds like a Blackhawks going by on my house. We got a small airport. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
No.
But anyway, let's, instead of going to bed at 2, 3 in the morning, let's try 1:30. We're working on that one now, where the average is 11:30 to 12:15.
Hey.
And same thing, Coach, I do better in class because I can pay attention. Right, you didn't wake up 3 hours prior to class, and you woke up at a reasonable time, got breakfast, then you went to class. Okay, so it's just the 1%. So that's really how I combat that kind of perfectionism or the doubters saying, hey, okay, you don't think this stuff works. Deal. Drink 10 more ounces of water today than you did yesterday. Just 10 ounces, a little bit more than a cup. Oh, that's not going to make a difference. 14 days later, it's, Coach, my skin has never looked this good. Right. 10 ounces over 14 days, it's 140 extra ounces over time.
Yep.
So, like, of course it's going to feel better.
Yeah. Coach over here, the student like, my skin look good. Coach is like, I'm not going to comment on that, but I'm happy for you. Yeah, I'm not, I ain't noticed. I don't even know you got skin, motherfucker.
I thought you had scales. What the hell?
Nuts. Good.
Yeah, no, good shit. But like in your mind, you're like, hell yeah, you look a good kid. Like, good for you. Good for you, dog.
I mean, that's when someone says something like that, it's like, all right,
let's do it.
Now our self-confidence is going up. Now we're going to push ourselves even harder to get in, whether it's building a relationship with a significant other, a classmate, or whatever. I know those things are going to start just stacking and stacking and stacking.
Spence, man, he talking about 50 different things right now. So anyone listening, and hopefully folks are tuning in now right after we did the interview part, is you're getting this buy-in for a lot of folks that hit the pitfalls. Like our population spends, that procrastination, ADHD, depression, OCD gets in the way. And we're not talking about instant change, but he's just saying little by little by little by little. It's so incremental that sometimes me and other therapists forget to like help students, clients, kiddos, adults break down the incremental bits to get better, right? Coach is like, man, 10 ounces, a cup, one extra scoop of eggs. Like that's how small these changes do add up. I think that's really something good to stick on, as it's the smallest changes. My old coach used to say in high school, he's like, bro, you get better or worse every day. There's no such thing as stagnation. Stagnation. There's not a thing. He said, you get better or worse. That's been in my head. I say it all the time. And I don't have to get better when, maybe some people are like, oh, you need to get better on your weight, this or that. Something's got to be a little bit better. Did I learn something? Did I make someone smile? What did I do to better myself or someone else's day? Maybe did I work on my house? Was the shit perfect? No. Did I have a full-blown panic attack and like yell at my dad and shit start crying? Yeah, I did. Did I get the fucking spark plugs done? I did. I got them done. And I learned how to do it. I could hate myself for how long it took, or I could just be really happy that I learned something new and I saved $350.
Yeah.
I put off things. Spencer puts off things. We do these things. Today, there is no tomorrow. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves, stop putting it off, man. And if you are, what's getting in the way? What's getting in the way? Are you anxious? Are you depressed? Are you sad? Are you fearful that you can't do it? If I try, then then it turns out like I do suck. So that's why students won't study sometimes. It's like, if I actually study for this test and I get a fucking D, like, so now I know I'm stupid. And it's not that the class is hard. I'm like legit stupid. And so you get a lot of people that self-sabotage. That's the next thing, is self-sabotage. And a lot of neurodivergent people self-sabotage all the time. Because there's that internal intrinsic thing that we suck. We believe that we suck. So why should I try? Me and Spence talk about relationships all the time with some of the homies and other people. I suck unless I will allow people to hurt me, to use me, to abuse me, to manipulate me financially, emotionally, physically, sexually, because I believe that I don't deserve better. And I won't set boundaries with people because I don't deserve better. And they won't set boundaries with parents, coaches, themselves. So the scene is legit. I'm going to make sure you answer Spencer's one question. Why'd you pick Rocky 3? Like, you just love the Italian stallion? Because you said stallions. You brought up horses earlier. Is it just his chesticles that you love? You know, or like, I don't, because I know you love a good muscle, He can't even talk. You think about his chest right now. I can tell. Like,
you broke that, man.
Is your mouth wet? You got, boy, your mouth wet as shit, boy.
Why are you salivating?
Boy. Oh, boy, calm down. But my shit wet as hell.
Oh, man.
Why'd you pick Rocky 3? Like,
eat a saltine cracker. Sorry.
I mean, Rocky 3 is just kind of, you guys talked about it a little bit where it's got a little bit of everything. It's got the ups, it's got the downs. And part of me feels like I can relate a little bit to that. Just not saying I've been world champion of anything. I never should have been athlete in all reality.
My God, Coach, you be a little nicer, dude. We're talking about being kind to ourselves. You're like, I was disabled.
I couldn't walk.
You like Forrest Gump all of a sudden, motherfucker, damn.
Run those braces off.
No.
Jesus.
You got it, Sagar. You got this.
But just having to face some adversity. Been knocked on my butt once or twice and had to pick myself up and figure it out. I've had to lean on some people to help myself figure it out. Whether that's family, mentors, people I work with, whoever. The biggest thing, and one of the things I like about that is seeing Apollo as his coach and what I do with some of the kids I get to work with, not just necessarily just being the quote unquote stereotypical strength coach, being a hard ass, but saying, hey, there's no tomorrow. Dude, we don't have time. I only have you for 4 years. That seems like a long time, but we got to freaking get some work done. But also picking them up and knowing that I see potential in you. I'm going to help you see it. That's just been.
One.
Go ahead.
That's a tough one. Helping people see it.
That's one of the reasons I like that scene is Apollo knows that Rocky's a world champion. 100% knows he's a world champion. He is struggling, like I have struggled many times, to show people that they are potential high caliber collegiate athletes. Maybe it's an injury. Okay, you tweaked your hamstring. It sucks as it sucks as any athlete, particularly a track athlete or a wrestler. It sucks. It's going to set you back. But hey, we're not in a wheelchair. We're not in a rascal, right? You're on crutches because it was a bad tear. In 4 weeks, you're going to be on your feet. In 8 weeks, you're going to be running again. In 12 weeks, we're sprinting. That's our timeline. It's going to suck. I'm going to push you. I've got your back. I'm going to pick you up when I need to, but it's just one of those things that I feel like I can really relate to the whole movie because of those ups and downs.
I wonder, when you're a coach, and this is a question for everyone listening too, is I feel like it's hard to get someone to believe in themselves if you don't already believe in yourself. I feel like it's hard to heal people if you already haven't done some healing, because now you're selling them on a lie, and a lot of us aren't good at selling people on lies. But if we believe the sauce that we're selling, people eat that shit up, man. People buy it because they're they're looking at you, they're looking up to you. And they're like, okay. They're like, okay, I'm with it. Because if you believe in something, you are going to manifest that shit working for them and the client, the student. And it's a different type of confidence that you walk with. So I just thought about that. I'm wondering, like, I feel like you need to believe in yourself and your abilities. You can't go in there half-assed, like, oh, I don't know, maybe you could lift the weight. Like, I don't feel like it's going to work.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's one thing I tell our interns on a regular, especially our up and coming. I mean,
Yeah.
if you put this on a piece of paper, you go in knowing they can do it. Like 100%. If you're, yeah, you got it. What? The kid's going to crap themselves on the spot, and then they're probably going to get hurt with whatever weight they have on the bar. So you go in and you freaking have their back.
Yep.
Freaking, yeah.
It's funny, real talk. I got a girl, I got a person that's like legit power lifter. And like, nah,
Heck yeah.
legit. I'll send you some videos.
Okay.
One of the strongest women in the world type shit. Like, she's stud. Yeah, she's awesome, dude. In her weight class.
The way you said that.
I know.
Just so dumb.
Well, chill out, man. But she was like, nah,
okay.
You see people squat or deadlift and now they gonna piss themselves. I'm like, girl, the powerlifters be pissing themselves, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer, you know this? They be pissing and shitting.
Yeah. I used to date a power lifter.
Oh.
They piss themselves.
That's wild, bro. I never thought, like, I know I had some whoopsies, I had some, yeah.
Oh. Can confirm.
Should have had all that tea.
Yeah.
Tea.
Quote unquote.
Jesus. That's a throwback for y'all. Yeah, it's wild, man. You gotta have buy-in. Spence, you got any things that you wanted to touch on that scene with him?
Nah, I think we should move on to the next one.
Okay.
All right. So the next scene, still during his training, but he hasn't really bought into what Creed was saying. So finally, Adrian has a talk with him on the beach, and he finally opens up and he's vulnerable, and he says that he's scared of losing everything that he has, and that he's afraid. I picked this scene because of the vulnerability that Rocky really shows into this, to do it with his partner, right? And I think that's a very important thing, to have somebody on your side, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a coach, mentor, have somebody on your side that you can be that vulnerable self and actually get to the root of the problem, instead of just kind of tiptoeing around it the whole time. It's a great scene for that, and it's also a great scene for Rocky as somebody who was world champion and saw himself as a fake, not as a actual world champion, because he was fighting people who he deemed to be, I guess, weaker, or just not on the same level as he's used to, which is hilarious, because literally before that, it's like all he fought was Creed. Like, don't get me wrong, he had amateur matches, but like for the world champion, Creed, that was pretty legit.
Yeah, like, you beat the top guy. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's like, what do you think else is gonna happen?
Yeah.
But with that, it's also, I think, a little bit of it's not confidence. It's confident. He doesn't have confidence, but I think he thinks that he is a fake. He thinks that he's not actually the person they thought he was, not just because of those fighters, but because he's getting older. He might be getting slower. He's not training as hard as he used to. Now boxing isn't the main thing that's driving him anymore. It's financial situation. It's family. It's other things besides boxing that's finally getting to it. And maybe he doesn't think that he can be other than a boxer. He didn't think he could be a father. He didn't think he could be a good husband. He didn't think he could be all these other things. And now he's finally realizing that maybe I don't need boxing all the time. that I can be a boxer, but I can also be all these other things as well. Which is sometimes a realization for athletes that they never thought they could ever be anything else other than an athlete.
Yep.
And so we've had this discussion, especially when we talked with Sammy, who was fantastic, talking about not just being an athlete anymore, just about being more than that, being somebody who can do all these other things instead of that. Because once you, and Father Time never loses, you're going to get worse at being an athlete. It's going to happen. Always happens. And so how do we kind of adjust, and how do we finally get to be something other than an athlete that everybody has in themselves? But yeah, we'd love to know both your takes on this scene, and then also, just anything else I said that can kind of talk about also.
Thoughts on the scene, Coach?
Well, I think kind of coming back to vulnerability, that's something that everybody needs to work on.
Preach.
Myself included. I mean, whether it's family member dies, worst case scenario, understanding that people have dealt with it. You're not the first person to have a family member die. You're not going to be the last. But being okay communicating that hey, I'm struggling. How do I deal with this? Who do I talk to? When do I talk to them? How do I deal with classwork that I'm going to miss, or am bombing because I'm stressed out or anxious or whatever the scenario? Because that's something that, kind of like we talked about earlier, the stigma of being a Marlboro man, that needs to go away, I would say 90% of the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's definitely a time and place of, okay, I need to be able to put my freaking foot down, and people are going to snap to attention like, oh, okay, Coach Sager's pissed off about something. But at the same time, if I'm that way all the time, no one's going to come up and talk to me. No one's going to say, hey, my mom's dying of cancer. Can I miss a workout? Yeah, get the hell out of here. Who do I need to email for you so you don't got to worry about classes?
Yep.
I mean, being able to, again, just picking on my profession stereotype of bald head bearded dude yelling at people. Yeah, that's easy. I can do that. I can yell. I can be annoying to a lot of people, but being able to take a kid and when they are at their weakest, at their most vulnerable, and like, no, I'm going to show you some light. Let's get you back on your feet.
The vulnerability thing is pretty cool, Spence, right? It's a really passionate scene. Every, not episode, every movie, you see him have one of them awesome talks. Either someone talks to him magnificently or he lets out an extreme emotion and vulnerability, right? And so we did the one scene from Rocky 1 is him and Mick, right? And you want to leave, right? And it's just, that scene's fucking intense. His apartment, it stinks. It's like, calm down, man.
It stinks. It all stinks.
And so you get this one. I was like, holy shit, that scene got me pretty juiced here. He's like, I'm fucking scared. What do you want me to say? I don't know what I'm doing in life. I don't know what I'm doing with the family. I want to be there with them. I want to be a good fighter. I know I'm not the fighter I thought I was. My mentor, my father figure's gone. I think of like Mike Tyson losing his father figure and mentor that we did in a different podcast, and how his life went to shit and drugs and all this stuff. And you lose prominent people, things get weird. And I think it's acceptable for people to say they're scared. You're scared when you move. Coach, I'm sure you were scared when you took the new job. Me and you were talking about it. I'm sure you were scared taking the new job and moving to fucking Iowa.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that was one thing that, I was nervous that I left too much up to chance up at St. Mary's. I mean, I was scared leaving those kids because
I know.
I mean, I knew they were going to hire someone that was decent, but I mean, I was just what did I leave on the table?
I know.
And at the same time, coming down here I think I know what I'm getting myself into, but it's a new job, new athletes, new faculty. It's freaking terrifying. I'm not gonna lie to you. From my move up there down here, I lost 25 pounds.
Oh shit! Because you weren't eating, coach. You missed out on your eggs.
I got my eggs.
You got your eggs.
I don't miss breakfast. It's just not enough. Moving a mile a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You probably weren't lifting like you were.
Oh gosh, no.
No.
It was either coaching, teaching, or in a car going up to Minnesota to bring more stuff down.
Wild.
And trying to find a house, trying to get a bank. All that stuff.
Hey, real quick, man. I done forgot about something. Let's do a pause, and I'm gonna make sure this is a prominent reel. Let's talk about how Coach damn near, his heart stopped at St. Mary's. We didn't even talk about that. Motherfucker died. Like his heart. Yeah, I guess your heart was beating rapidly for like a long time and a long, long time. Remember? Obviously, you remember,
yeah.
Bro.
Yes.
Motherfuckers were terrified, bro. Everybody, all the students were like, if the strongest guy in the pit and the one that feeds us love and joy is like, ain't gonna make it, motherfuckers were terrified. You had to have been scared, bro. I was fucking scared. You had wires and shit. Like, it was not cool.
In the back of my mind, I was like, well, all right, this is it. Part of me was like, shit, put the pine jacket on.
Jesus.
But at the same time, I knew I couldn't show it.
You acted real cool.
I had to. If I was nervous, the kids were going to be nervous. If the kids are nervous, they're not going to compete well in the classroom or in the field. So I just had to grit my teeth and smile.
And they never ended up finding out what the problem was, right? You had that thing on you monitoring your heart for like a while, didn't you?
The first one was 2 weeks, and then the second one was, I think, 10 weeks.
I thought it was a while.
Still don't know. I'm just on medication.
And what was going on? It was just your heart was rapidly beating for a while, right?
So it's a ventricular tachycardia. So what that is you have your two ventricles, the lower ventricle or the lower chambers on the heart, and they were beating at the same time really fast. So I would be sitting still and my heart rate would be anywhere from 180 to 210 beats a minute.
Jesus.
And then I would literally flatline, and then I'd go back to a normal heart rhythm.
All right.
And that's when the superhero was born. He came back and you're like, I'm fucking Hercules. Couldn't think of nothing.
Yeah, my favorite memory of that whole scenario, it was not,
go ahead.
Not a great memory.
Go ahead.
I'm sitting in the ER. Liz is in there with me, my wife, and head athletic trainer we worked with. And the ER doc comes in. His eyes are about this big, and he's like, dude, how the F are you conscious? And I'm like, my guy, my wife is sitting here. That. Shut your damn mouth. And he's like, I'm sorry, but how the fuck are you conscious? And I was just like, shut up.
Those Winona doctors.
Everything's fine. That doctor was autistic as shit.
Oh, man.
Jesus. Why did he say that?
Live right now.
Why did he say that?
I have no idea. And he's like, well, most of the people that do this are not your age. So they're much older. Normally, their heart gets weak, and it's a nervous system response to the body trying to catch up. And he's like, you either are in extremely good health, have an exceedingly strong heart, or I don't know what else it would be. And I was like, well, hopefully it's the former two and not the question mark, but apparently it's the question mark. So
I don't know. That's one of the moments where you just like, I think I believe in God now, man. Cause I don't know, man. Some of that shit be making you real spiritual, bro.
Seriously. That was just one of those like, okay, this guy says I shouldn't be conscious. The screen says I'm dead. what's going on here? Like, who's pulling these strings? Like, come on, quit. You can pull them.
All your body parts working? You're not like half zombie, right? You ain't got like shit falling off, right?
I get. I mean, some parts I wish, but you know,
motherfucker, you smell like rotten eggs, motherfucker. Yeah, I might need to change. Yeah, I just forgot about that. I was like, wait a minute, bro. So you had to, I know everyone, you and your partner had to have been fucking terrified, bro. I was worried about you lifting, bro. I remember seeing you after that and like your eyes were all bloodshot one day. I'm like, Coach, you good? You like, dude, I just got done like squatting a shit ton of weight. I'm like, you for real, bro? Because your eyes were bloodshot and your vessels, you're like, yeah, the vessels in my eyes broke. I'm like, motherfucker, you was crying. It's okay. I wanted to be like, come here, babe. Come here, babe. Cry on my chest, babe.
Just lay your head on my tip.
Yeah.
big old. Come
on, get lost in the chest here, babe. You know.
Oh, starts eating you like poison ivy.
God, why are you eating me? Bro, I remember I was tweaking when I'm like, Coach, you good? You're like, I'm good, man. I'm like, he's like, yeah, other people asked me too. I'm like, yeah, because you was crying, bitch. You know, goddamn well he was in his house crying like I'm about to die. Oh no! Now I know it was the weed after this whole tea bag. It was the tea bag.
Don't say a weed. Just say tea bag.
He loves a good tea bag.
Oh man,
lovely.
Let's get to the next scene. Let's get to the next scene.
Oh, okay. Let's just move on. Good transition there.
Joel, I thought it was funny. The scene in general, Spencer's magnificent, and I just love to point out that Rocky, you know, you can shit on him all you want in the movies, and they're masculine or the old or the macho. There's some really good emotional vulnerability. There's some really good stuff in these movies.
Yeah,
right.
He wrote them when he was dirt poor. Like he literally had nothing. If you haven't seen the documentary series on Netflix, Sly.
Oh yeah.
Great documentary about Sly Stallone. Like he's done through so much shit and he's made it, and he's one of the most prominent actors of all time. Like whether or not you like his movies, it's fine, but you can't take away his achievements of what he's done. Yeah. And the fact that he did that all while just dirt poor and nobody would buy his movie script is just insane. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
that's cool, man. What I love about him is he takes all his boys with him. Like if he eats, they all eat, which is like the coolest fucking thing to do, bro. All his boys come with him. He tries to get them all paid. Oh, shout out to, it was in the Ivan Drago, the Dolph Lundgren guy, just got cleared of cancer. So shout out to him beating cancer. I'm really happy for him and his family. I saw it the other day and I was like, that made me happy. Dudes are fucking rocket scientists. Like legit rocket scientist, Dolph Lundgren. It's fucking wild.
Those Russians.
I'm telling you, fuckers. Shout out to the guy. Hey, let's get into the last scene and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah. All right. So for this scene, this was way before both the training scene and then Creed. It was when Rocky actually loses to Mr. T. This is exactly what I thought the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight was going to be. I was hoping for. It's like, just beat him. Just keep punching him, Mike.
Beat that white man down. Beat that white man.
Please.
This is for
fighting
all
your glove and punch
him. And then all we got was a bunch of buffering and Mike Tyson's ass.
Oh, so bad. I will say, though, the women's match before
awesome.
Was amazing.
Yeah,
that was a great match, even though the outcome was bullshit.
Sus.
But that was a great fight.
Great fight.
I did love watching that one.
Yeah,
I forgot who the boxers were, but they were amazing.
Amazing.
But yeah, so this is when Rocky is actually getting beat, and he goes to the corner, and he's just like, he's too strong. He's too strong. Can't do it. I can't do it. I know you wanted to bring up PTSD for this one, so what were you kind of thinking when you brought this scene up? And so
this scene here is point blank, this would be representation of someone's trauma. Life, like Sagar was talking about, is continuously attacking you, beating you up. You're getting worn down. You're getting worn down. You go to your supports, your coaches, but you're looking for that one. It's like that movie Southpaw. He's looking for his wife in the crowd, but she's not there. She's dead. And so when you lose that figure, it doesn't allow you to lift that weight, like Sagar was talking about. You don't have that cheerleader. You don't have that person. It'd be like me if I lost my father. Without that person I can look to, I lose my ability to regulate. So a lot of folks, that's really tough. We all have a support system. Most of us do. Not a lot of you probably don't, but most of us do have at least one or two people. Parents, friends, family, caregivers, grandparents, all types of stuff. Teachers, mentors, coaches. And that scene is a great representation. You're going to get attacked and you're going to be losing your shit. Where are your supports? And sometimes you're still going to fail and you're going to fail miserably. I was talking to a student today and he said some stuff and he said, I was thinking about, this person that passed away, they said in their life, and they would want, I got to do better. I got to lock in. Got to do better. I got to lock in. I let them talk. And I said, you think that they would be proud of the way you acted the other day with all that anger and all that crazy shit that you said to that person? I get that person deserved it. But you think that that was the young man that she's proud of? Or you think that your grandma was proud of that man? I don't think so, kid. And I think if she was to co-sign all that crazy shit that you said, that'd be weird. So I want you to think about, what is this being a good man? Is it about getting $1 million and getting straight A's? Or is it about making sure you don't let the word pollute you and then you become angry and violent and mean? And so the world will knock a lot of us down and it pollutes us. I know it polluted me for a long time. Angry as fuck, violent as fuck. Someone joked at the office the other day because I was like, yeah, man, we whoop your ass in school. You come playing these video, this shit or that shit, that nerd shit, we gonna whoop your ass. Well, now that's why every time you talk, you whooping someone's ass. I'm just letting you know. You getting your ass whooped. It's a different type of environment where I grew up in. And I had a lot of shit. I remember telling my nephew, I would say, hey man, you're gonna fuck up one day, it's gonna be bad. And then he did. He got caught actually legit selling a shit ton of weed and got suspended, expelled. They had a shit ton of charges, but then now he's like this badass fucking lawyer and he works for Stanford University, fucking Georgetown education. So like, yeah, you can get shit. So when you fall, how do you get back up? And as I told that young man, I said, as soon as you cross that boundary now, you think that it's who you are. You think that you're that monster. You think that you're that loser. You think that you're that suicidal kid. You're always going to have that in your memory barking at you. And it's really tough to live with that. That trauma lives with you. So in these next couple scenes, in Sagar's scene, you see him with those flashbacks. Clubber Lane coming at his ass. Then you'll see the next one where I'll put in there when they're fighting again and he's punching at you, leaning into it. And you're going to have that trauma, that PTSD. You're going to be reliving it and you're going to have to push through it. I'll be straight up. You're going to have to push through it. Like Sagar was saying, you're going to have to push through some of this shit. There is no tomorrow. You're going to have to lean on your supports, find new ones. You're going to do what you need to do today to get through that trauma, to be exposed to that stimuli. I've been having a lot of clients recently, Spence, with the private practice. Now it's up and running since the podcast we've been doing. Bro, it's some wild shit. Them stories that people are telling me, these grown-ass adults instead of these kids, they got real shit.
Yeah.
And man, a couple of them broke my heart yesterday. I was like, how can parents be like this, man? Like, how could you fuck your kids over like this? How could you tell someone that you gonna come murder them? Like, that's wild, bro. I never heard that until, like, I'm coming to get you. I'm like, damn. Like, just horrible shit that people go through. I'm like, gee, you gonna make it. You're good. You're gonna do these couple things to protect yourself. Like, you got this. Person sends me an email like, thank you, man. And I'm like, you're a good man. You're a magnificent man from the piece of shit that raised you. That's fucking awesome. That should motivate you to continue on. Like, you should already be broken. The fact that you're here talking to me, G, shit, you're already good. You're already healthy. You're already smart. You're already enough as a man, as a woman. So I see these scenes of this trauma, and I know it relives through a lot of us, especially folks that are OCD or autistic. We get those visuals, and they're like gross flashbacks. Watch out with the boozing and alcohol and the drugs, right? Because that's just a cope, and like that shit will keep coming back, keep coming back. I want you to work through it. I need you to talk through it. Like Sagar said, vulnerability. You know, it's tough, but vulnerability is the key. I did this speech a month ago, and I guess someone told me that saw me do the speech. They said, "You see that Kevin Hart joint that just came out, Spencer? Did you see that Kevin Hart thing on Netflix yet or no?"
No.
A lot of people saying it's really good with vulnerability. A lot of people saying they're breaking down crying. Not Kevin Hart. Jamie Foxx.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that. I want to, though.
I'm gonna watch it because everyone's saying Jamie Foxx is like got people in there like full on crying because the vulnerability and the shit that he went through. Like almost died, right? I was like, damn, I gotta check it out. And it was kind of sweet that she texted me because she don't text me a lot. This one of my colleagues. And I know she texted me that because she saw me deliver the speech, Sagar, like to this group of kids graduating. And like, I was crying for like 10 minutes, bro. went up there and like just lost my shit. I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck just happened, but, and then I seen grown ass men in there crying, like dads crying. I'm like, okay, I think I did pretty good. People coming up to me like that was awesome. I think I saved a few lives from that conversation. You're going to be okay with that trauma and that trigger, that Clubber Lane, whatever it is, whatever coach said that punched you. You just know you got to keep moving and you got to keep finding ways to live. You got to keep doing them little small things and eating them eggs, lifting them weights, going to class, sleeping a little bit more, right? Maybe you got to find your pocket of nerds like me and Spence and watch your movies, your shows, your anime, your music and jam out. You got to find your pocket of humans, man, to keep doing you. Don't let the world pollute you. We haven't had a podcast since in a while since I had like this traumatic thing happen. You guys got to do it. There is no tomorrow. Stop putting your shit off. Go get your meds filled. Some of you fuckers aren't filling your meds. Go fill your fucking meds. Go take your meds. Some of you dudes like me, take your fucking blood pressure meds. Take them now. You're going to fucking die like 10 years sooner if you don't take them. Go get your checkups. Go do what you got to do, man. Stop being like my ADHD clients and like, oh, I'll get to it. Like, girl, what you talking? Like, this is fucked up. You shouldn't be living with this. You need to go talk to the doctor. I got to call. Yeah, call. But I'm anxious. All right, I'm going to call and we're going to do this shit now because I need you to get this done. We got to make sure that this isn't fucking C word. Cancer. Bro, I'm dealing with like legit adults now, bro. It's like, that's a thing that we talk about continuously. So magnificent movie. I'm glad Coachy had us do it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's interesting on how these old movies always affect us. Like I forget some of this shit is from these movies. I'm like, what the hell's in Rocky 3? I'm like, oh damn, a lot's in Rocky 3.
Yeah. Just wait till Rocky 4. Throw the damn towel.
Bro, that shit traumatized everyone, bro. Anytime.
Oh, yes. That was a surprise one. That was a surprise. Did not see that shit coming.
That's just sad as fuck, bro.
Yeah, it was. It was bad. I was like, why? Why do they have to do Creed like
Traumatic,
that?
bro. Why? Can you imagine being in a movie theater like and seeing that? Everyone had to have been fucked up. They had to have been fucked up, bro.
Well, I mean, and then he came out with like all the American shit. He's just like, yeah, we about to beat that Russian's ass, and then throwing the damn towel,
bruh. Right, and Clubber Lane had that same moment where he looks at him, and it looked like it was a hesitation, like he didn't want to hurt him, and then pow.
No, he was just like, I'm looking at that face just to see one last time before you go down.
I'm gonna see that pretty face before I knock it out, you know. Oh, he bopped his ass. Life don't give a fuck, bro. Life is gonna happen no matter what. Life is gonna life. Interesting. Hey, Sagar, man, I'm glad you came on the pod. I'm glad you had some fun with us.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah. That was a blast.
I told you not to have any anxiety because everyone's always tweaking. Like, I need to be like super all this about neurodivergence, ADHD, autism. Nah, G, you're just gonna come on, be you, talk.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you. Like, I've had mad respect from you, like, always. And then I remember this certain moment in my mind was like, I fucking love this dude. Like, I legit love this guy as a man. I was at the hockey game with Coach Spence. And you might have been there, you might not have been. I know Sling was there. I was at the hockey game. Kid gets checked into the fucking glass, starts bleeding fucking everywhere.
I was there for that.
I see Coach fucking dart out of the stands, and you went right under the ice, bro. I was fucking tweaking because there was blood everywhere, bro. I was like, is he good? You're like, he's good. They're taking him to the hospital, this and that. When I saw Coach just get up, like, other people would be like, that's not my job. Like, you were just sitting watching the game with me, Coach. Do you remember that? Well, that shit was nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, the puck hit him so hard in the freaking face mask, it came back and...
Oh, that's what it was. It was bro. I just remember, I was like...
Yeah, it was a pressure cut.
Wow.
Bro, I thought homie... I ain't gonna lie. I thought homie was about to die, bro. That was a shit ton of blood, bro. I was fucking terrified.
It seemed like a lot.
A lot of people were in the stands. Like, when Coach got his ass up so quick, he, like, pushed me. Like, bitch!
Get your fat ass out the way. Like, that's your home.
Get out the way, colored boy.
I'm just enjoying the game. What the fuck?
Shouldn't have let you in here anyways.
Oh my god.
I'm joking.
Let's be honest, there weren't a lot of other people there. There weren't a lot of
bro,
people
when I seen his ass jump like that, there's only a few people in the world that do that.
Yeah.
Those are troopers that will go dive on that grenade. Sagar's one of them G's, bro. He's like, yep, let's handle it. You don't see that often. A lot of people are lazy. A lot of people are cowards. When I seen him jump, I'm like, that's my guy. That's my guy. So much respect to you, right? Much respect to you, dude. I knew it right then and there. I'm like, yup. Mm-hmm. Your students are lucky. Me and you've already talked about this. Students are lucky. Your colleagues are lucky. I'm sure you don't get nowhere near the respect that you should get or the accommodations that you should get in life from, like, professional stuff, but also the kids. Like, you know, the kids love you. I'm sure a lot of them ain't got the words to, like, tell you. But I know a lot had. Yeah. And me and you talked about when you left. I'm not going to say anything, but you talked about a lot of deep conversations students had with you. You texted me. You're like, nah, I'm fucked up, bro. This is...
That hurt.
Bro, saying goodbye to students is tough, bro. I'm so glad that you had that moment, though.
Oh man, that sucked. That's the one thing. I mean, I've tried to talk to a couple interns about that. I've had 2 since I've been back here. That asked me, is like, how do you say goodbyes? You just got to do it. It's you want to talk about a kick to the freaking crotch, man. There's nothing that I can tell them. I mean, you might be able to help them a little bit more as a therapist, but dude, it sucks.
Yeah.
You invest so much time, and those kids know that you invested so much time and you cared so deeply about them that at the end of the day, I mean, they want nothing but the best for you, but they know that they're going to miss out on a lot of big opportunities because you're gone. And seeing that in those kids' faces when I had the opportunity to tell them face to face, I felt, you want to talk about vulnerability? I felt like a POS for the kids. I couldn't tell to their face.
Mm-hmm.
That sucked so bad. Not getting to tell some of the hockey teams, the baseball guys, the softball gals, the basketball teams. I mean, that sucked. That was probably the second hardest thing I did leaving St. Mary's, was not getting to tell everybody face to face.
I don't know what it was, man. It was so easy to love them kids. And there was some crazy ass kids too, man. Some of them I hated them kids. But the shit was wild. Like, man, I love them kids. Them kids love me. Saying goodbye, bro. I ain't got no advice for it. I just sat there and fucking cried. Like, I'm gonna cry with you. I'm a crier.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
man.
Kids were like, I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. I'm like, that shit hurts, bro. That triggers a whole bunch of shit with me and Pops and him leaving, going to prison. I don't like that abandonment shit. Like, I don't let people see me walk away either, Coach. Like, I'm gonna make sure that you walk away, because I can handle that trauma. You walk away, fist bump, hug, I need you to walk away from me because you get the choice. I'm not going to have you watching me and then that's the visual. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Bro, those meetings sucked. I gave away so many of the stuffed animals. That shit was wild, bro. I'm glad you had that moment, bro, because if you wouldn't have had that, then you would have been like, damn, was this shit even worth it? Then you were like, oh, yeah, this shit's worth it.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Good moments. Good when you know you made the right choice in the right career field, right? You're not some dude doing shit that he hates, even though you hate your job at times. But
Oh, yeah, there are definitely aspects of my job where it's like, I wish this didn't exist, but I tell people all the time, I haven't worked a day yet. I would say my first day of work was telling them goodbye.
Yeah, that was tough. Yeah, just wanted to gas you up, man. Give you some love, G. Job was tough, man. Dealing with humans, like legit humans, for years. It's not like 1 or 2 sessions. Like this is years. Any type of coaching. We had that magnificent coach come on, Spence, with that did that Daisy Jones in the 6.
Yeah.
And it's different with athletes, man. They put a lot into you as like their person.
Mm-hmm.
Other students, you know, they ain't like the athletes. They put a lot into you, a lot. And they're babies, dude. You're talking about freshmen. You're talking like 18, 17, 19. It's a privilege. You said earlier it's an honor. It is. It is.
Love it.
Hopefully we're better coaches than Mick. God chasing chickens and shit.
You can't do it, Rock. You can't do it. Like, damn. You said I could do it in like the first 2 movies. The third one, you're like, no?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Wow, man. Spence, you got any sauce to throw on this thing?
No. Sagar, thank you for coming on. Let's hear, you got any plugs that you want to, shout out at all before we leave?
Not really.
You got any plugs for like training, technique, nutrition? Wise words, dude. You got any wise? You got that Gandalf vibe. Any wise words?
Well, nutrition wise, eat food. Eat food, eat food, eat food. Yeah. You guys laugh. I mean, people try and say, oh, Coach, what do you think about this supplement? Fair. What do you think about this meal replacement bar? It's like, pronounce the first 3 ingredients for me. Oh, you can't? Okay, it's not food.
Okay.
Eat food. Eat food. Do your best to get 3 square meals a day. If you can fit a snack in, fit a snack in. Sleep. It's the best PED for you. All right. I mean,
you're right.
You want to get stronger? Sleep. You want to get better grades? Sleep. You want to understand things better? Sleep. And then just take things one step at a time. People are too big of a hurry to do something that's going to take them a decade. Take it one step at a time.
Okay. There we go. Thank you.
All right. And with that, I'm Spencer. That's Nas. Different Spencer Podcast.
All right, everyone. Much love. And remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
That's completely up to you. Peace. Fucking nailed it.